Okay, so to finish this off, because this one's dry, I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layers. We're actually going to be using a 6th layer. And for this time, we're going to actually be using some of that dry brush technique. So I'm going to be loading up on this blue and green into a separate container over here. And I want this color to be I want it to be dark. Okay, so I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water to this. And now I use my green. Okay, so when I go and do this, you don't need to do exactly like mine. There's a variety of ways that we can do this. But I'm going to make some trees here in the foreground to make it look like it's really, so this part looks like it's close to me, okay? So you could do trees in a variety of ways. I like to make kind of these pine-looking trees where I start with a line, and they just get a little bit longer as I go out, okay? But then I like to add some little swatches down, okay? And I will have a handout for you that you can look at to look at a variety of different ways that you might add in some plants or some trees, because like I said, I do not want you to copy exactly what I'm doing here. This is just to show you a little bit of an idea. Now, once this is dry a little bit more, we can go layer over it more to get a few more branches, because there's some areas in here that look a little sparse, but we don't want to add those in right now because otherwise all of that color is going to blend together, okay? So now I'm going to add another little tree. And this one, let's see, I'm going to do this one a little bit different. It's not going to be as tall. Okay, now I'm just gonna do one even little smaller one over here. Like I said, I can layer over this more once it's a little bit more dry, but you can kind of see how that will complete our drawing, okay? Or our painting. So now we're gonna go back to this wet and wet one of our night sky. You can kind of see the stars or the star-like texture from the salt. So there's a couple of other things that we can do to give this a finished look. If you would like to add stars to it, okay, I have some kind of white pearly paint that I will give you, and I will just put a little bit in your paint tray like this, okay? Then I will give you a toothbrush, and you're gonna take your toothbrush and you're just gonna dip it directly into that paint, okay? If you need to, you might dip a little bit with water, okay? And then you're just going to take your finger or your thumb and you're going to speckle your painting, and this will kind of give the idea of stars, okay? And it will dry a little bit more. It won't look so white, but you can see it looks really, really cool, okay? Now, you might choose to leave it like that, or you might choose to add a little something to it. And I'm actually gonna add a little something to mine, and I'm just gonna do this with a black color here, and I'm going to take this brush, and I'm not going to water it down in here yet because I actually want this to be really dark, and to go along with the theme of mountains, I'm just going to add in a quick little mountain range, kind of bringing that down. Now you have to be careful about your stars. If your stars are too wet still, you might need to wait. So here's this. And I don't want to cover up all of my yellow and orange, so that's why I'm kind of making that mountain peak a little bit lower here. And then I'm gonna bring it up kind of like that. Okay, so from here, you might say, all right, that's how I want to have it done, or you could do a little animal silhouette with it if you wanted to add in a little bit of a tree detail to it as well to give it something a little bit more. You can do that. Find a way to make this your own. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then once we let both of our paintings dry, we've completed them.